Howdy, y'all. Candy recently decided to vent on her blog, and as you're probably expecting, it was quite something to behold. It's a shame she didn't do it on camera, but at the same time, we're pretty sure she wouldn't be able to pull this off on camera either. Anyway, we're gonna ignore the order Candy put things in because it's not organized anyway. Here's our favorite part. Candy goes over how she's tired of people trying to be helpful.
People are always asking me questions about the TI program, yet refuse to do the research whenever I direct them to links in the description box or other websites. They false assume that I'm just lazy and don't want to work. Some other TIs get more support, especially if they're the popular fakes who sold out and are pretending. I'm sick and tired of people trying to criminalize my survival and act like as if my fight for survival doesn't matter. People keep making me out to be entitled, ungrateful, and spoiled. I'm talking about what the perps say, narcissistic abusers, and also people who I thought were supportive subscribers. All the days I suffered freezing on the streets, getting yelled around for falling asleep in IHOP, Starbucks, etc., trying to stay warm. I have been scared, feeling afraid that I won't be able to survive this winter because the perps have threatened people for helping. It's only a small amount of y'all who help regularly. And if anyone is unable to, I completely understand. I'm angry every day that I'm being blocked from being independent and self-sufficient. I know that there are other TIs going through this. The perps keep trying to bully me into an ultimatum of selling out. I refuse. That's why I'm still homeless. They're keeping me forced homeless and wrongfully banned from everywhere. I think the perps even found out this hotel. I'm tired of people comparing my suffering to others and also lack of achievement to others, trying to criminalize my survival and existence. I don't even get to eat 3 meals a day every day much anymore. For me to live stream for 8 hours, and it takes that long for me to get $10 for a meal to eat. I'm tired of people falsely accusing me of living in luxury and having it made as a homeless person when it's only like 3 or 4 people helping out of over 5,000 subscribers. Me recently being on the streets for 8 nights after the perps causing me forced diarrhea. I earn very little from my writings in YouTube. And the perps are always threatening to shut down all of the little bit of income that I get. Threatening to shut down my YouTube channels. They have illegally shut down so many TikTok accounts. Targeted homelessness is not the same as regular or general homelessness. So how can people say that other homeless have it worse, especially when some of them are gang stalking as targets? Thanks for letting me vent.
Candy, when folks ask you about being a TI, they aren't asking for links to other TIs talking about it. They want to know what your experience being targeted involves. When new people find you, they're bound to ask very similar questions because they don't know you. They haven't seen what your life has been like, so naturally they want to ask. Believe it or not, there are quite a few scammers out there, Candy Girl, so people will also want to make sure you've exhausted all your options before assuming as much. We know it gets tiring, having to explain the same thing over and over and over again. However, when you're dealing with the general public, that's just part of the game. For instance, at one point you complained about how someone asked for your PayPal, even though it was in the title. This isn't stalking or trolling, it's what people with other things on their mind do. For example,
so do you have any new movies in?
Anyway, your fight for survival is a joke. As can be seen from the video, you could literally go over a month without eating anything and still be fine. You'd need vitamins, of course, but you've got enough stored calories to ensure you won't starve to death for a very long time. Oh, sure, you still feel hungry a lot. That's because you like to eat. You've said so yourself. You take comfort in things like ice cream. So when you have nothing to eat, you get cranky and angry. You eat to pass time and get bored when you're not. Despite what you wrote here, we've never seen you live stream for more than 2.5 hours. We looked back at your year, and you haven't even come close to streaming 8 hours to get what you ask for. Notice how the time varies quite a bit between under half an hour to occasional 2.5-hour streams. You end your stream pretty much as soon as you get the money you're asking for, or you give up. Regardless of which, you're lucky if you stream 8 hours a week on average. Don't forget to count all the days there was no stream either.
Also, the part about freezing to death is especially rich, considering you live in New Orleans. The only time you were in potential danger was when you went to Chicago and Detroit in the middle of fucking winter, which means you put yourself in danger of freezing to death by being a dumbass who evidently forgot that winter is cold up north. But that's not all. Last week you moaned about your heart, and evidently the ER people agreed because they referred you to a cardiologist. You haven't said anything about making an appointment. This candy is proof that you're going to lose this so-called fight for survival prematurely. There's a good chance the minor leg swelling is caused by your heart not being able to circulate fluid properly.
And it wouldn't be from directed energy weapons. It'd be because it's clogged up and overtasked pumping blood throughout all your extra body mass. Which brings us to the part about how you're tired of people comparing suffering with you. This is probably our favorite part because it exposes your selfish thinking so cleanly. Candy, what you're experiencing seems like it sucks, but on the whole scale of things that suck, you do have it pretty good. You are able to maintain a well-nourished status. You've taken multiple trips this year. You eat out at expensive places like the Cheesecake Factory, and you only work when you feel like it. Plus, your work is basically online panhandling, so it's not like it's harder than real work. You could have things much better, of course, but that would involve psychiatric therapy, and we know how you feel about that. So for all your choices, this is as good as it gets. The reason you don't make much money from your writing and YouTube is quite simply because you're terrible at both. Your stories are vapid, full of nonsensical inconsistencies and just badly written. It really is that simple. If people actually enjoyed what you write, they'd want more. They'd engage with you about it. They'd think about paying you for your good work. Part of your problem is you believe the big lie they sold all children starting in the 1980s. You believe that you're special, talented, and destined to make your dream come true. Life is a movie, and you are the main character. All you need to do is write a few lines, and that should lead to happily ever after. That's just not true. Special people are special. Stephen King writes stories that sell, stories that people enjoy and talk about, stories folks want to see made into movies. We're not saying this to be mean, it is simply the truth. If you were any good at legitimate entertainment, you'd make more money.
Here we have another part worth responding to. Candy's dealings with people in real life.
Many restaurants and cafes, I've documented how they perp and give me half bowl of food or half cup of drink, force me to pay full price, gaslight me when confronted, and then wrongfully permanently ban me forever from the entire corporation whenever I document and expose their site games and abuse. Other customers give me mean, angry looks when I see that they have a full bowl of soup Panera bread or something like that. And the workers try to gaslight me about portion sizes and try to make me out to be greedy. You give me half the food for full price and then call me the greedy one. The online stalkers make fake calls, getting me wrongfully permanently banned from all the cheaper restaurants, cafes, hotels, etc., and then come up with a fake narrative that I'm a scammer, grifter, and fraud who picked fights with neighbors, deliberately made myself homeless for pity, sympathy, and attention, and that I just want for people to pay for me to enjoy expensive, luxury, 5-star restaurants and hotels. Why doesn't anyone question how bizarre that sounds? Why does everyone blindly go along with the lie? They falsely accuse me of faking being targeted just for money, yet they sold their souls and are gang stalking for money. They are the ones actually targeting me. They're mad at me for being alive and functioning without bowing down to join their childish, ridiculous, fake, satanic, perverse cult. And they all refuse to take no for an answer.
The truth here is, Candy really is entitled and spoiled. Look at her there. Is it hard to imagine why someone like her could be given dirty looks by others when she stands up and fights for more food? She should actually thank the trolls, because they give her something to blame for her problems besides herself. Meanwhile, have a look at a short we reposted from one of her alternate channels.
Yeah, see, because you know you're wrong. You know you're wrong. That's why you're hiding your face.
I don't need to hide my face. Okay? Get out. Have a good night.
Yeah, how you gonna do this to me in my country, huh?
And like it or not, Candy is indeed homeless by choice. Aren't you, Candy? How many places have you walked out on? How many bridges have you burned with your family and homeless shelters? None can be blamed on your trolls, who you call online stalkers. This comes down to you and your inability to live near people. This is standard procedure for her. Blame the world for her misery, change nothing, and then write a new narrative of the past that makes her look sympathetic. And she is right about one thing. This is a very bizarre situation. Because she does find herself in expensive places more often than not. The bottom line is that you want more than you deserve. More from SSI. More from the public. More from your supporters. You just want more and more. That's a big reason why you lose support, too. When it becomes obvious you don't plan on helping yourself, folks stop throwing money into your wastebasket. Think of it like this. Despite what you say about wanting to work, you just want fish from other people, rather than letting them teach you how to do your own fishing. That is lazy. That is entitled. That is you!
Mr. Homolka? Stop eating my sesame cake. Stop eating my sesame cake!